Hello guys, this is going to be a commentary featuring some new demo footage of Gears of War Judgment, specifically the Overrun game type. Uh, there's only one map as of yet. It's Skyline. I'm not sure if they're going to add any extra maps before the release of the game. But I have various opinions and some of my experience with the demo. And the first thing I want to get across is when I first launched this game and I started playing around, you have that mentality of how the players move and react to cover from Gears of War 3. And the first character I chose was a Grenadier, and he felt very clunky. The way he wall bounced, the speed at which he transitioned into a roadie run after he rolled, it felt like it was delayed and it was clunky. And then I later found out that the Overrun playlist is the classes are based on different characteristics of your movement and your health. So the Grenadiers, I believe, have roughly nearly twice the amount of health as the COD characters, and this is not going to take effect in the regular multiplayer game types like free-for-all, team deathmatch. They're all going to have the set base. Everyone is on the same even playing field, such as Gears of War 3, and I believe the movement is going to be relatively indistinguishable from Gears of War 3's movement, such as like the wall bouncing and the roadie running and all of that different aspects. So the Gnasher has been nerfed according to my findings in Overrun. The nerf that has pretty much been applied to the Gnasher is primarily or pretty much only just the way the bullets, actually the pellets, spread apart when they hit a target. So in Gears of War 3 and 2, the pellets spread would pretty much take influence depending on how the character had the orientation of the weapon. So if you're hard aiming your Gnasher, you're going to have the tightest pellet spread, which gives you the best accuracy and range. While if you blind fire or hip fire the Gnasher, the pellet spread widens, giving you less accuracy and less range, but in return you get better movement of your character to help dodge the whatever oncoming fire is coming your way. So in Judgment, it doesn't matter how you orient the weapon. If you're hard aiming, if you're pop shotting, if you're hip firing, if you're blind fire, the pellet spread will remain the same regardless of the way the character is orienting the weapon. And the pellet spread is actually wider. If you're close to the target, it's actually wider than the actual crosshair of the Gnasher itself. Epic did say that they would reduce the range of the Gnasher because they felt that the range of the Gnasher was too long. Especially the fact that it can one-shot kill someone. To me, I personally, I'm not really, that turned off about it. The Gnasher did sometimes one-shot down me in certain scenarios from very, very long distances, and I'm just like, wow, this weapon is kind of really powerful. But up close, it does still one-shot players, and if they would have nerfed that, then that would have been a giant problem for many Gears fanatics like us. So the next thing is, I hope that in the regular multiplayer playlist that the Gnasher just doesn't start off with only 8 rounds. I hope it starts off with at least 16 rounds, preferably maybe 24. But as of right now, the Gnasher starts off with 8 rounds, and I feel that especially with the pellet spread nerf, that you're gonna run out of 8 rounds relatively quickly. Hopefully the people who are playing this game will also use Gnashers, so if you kill them, you're going to be able to pick up their Gnasher ammo, and hopefully that the ammo boxes that are laid out all around the maps will not disappear if someone just walks over it and picks it up. Maybe if it's like Overrun where the ammo boxes remain in that specific location, and if you walk over it multiple times, you continuously begin to pick up ammo. That could be a flaw, and I hope they make it where you can't replenish the ammo for power weapons, and you can only replenish the ammo for your standard given weapons, and that will be a great thing just to keep the ammo boxes there. Or if the ammo boxes get picked up and then they disappear, they'll respawn relatively quickly. So now to the rifles. I feel that the Lancer is now perfectly balanced. the stopping power is completely removed. There's no more headshot multiplier, and there's no more active reload. So the Lancer is what it should always have been in Gears of War and what it was in Gears of War 1, a suppressing based weapon. It's made to sit back and just, you know, rain down suppressive fire. It's not really meant to be used up close and just completely change the way the game plays and slow down everything like Gears of War 3 has completely introduced. Now, if a Gnasher wielding player gets in the vicinity of about 20 feet of a Lancer wielding player, that Lancer player is really in some heavy shit basically. You're most likely going to die because there's no stopping power to help you slow down the enemy as he's trying to approach you. Also, increase your accuracy because he's now moving at a very slow pace. So now with the addition of the Gnasher basically having a wider pellet spread, it sort of kind of counterbalances it, but like I said before, you can still one-shot hit your opponent. The classic hammer bursts, I've seen only the Kansas use them, and they're very powerful, but it's just that the kickback is so ridiculous that, like said, it's only viable in close range scenarios, and it's not going to be able to be a versatile weapon like the Retro was in Gears of War 3 and conquer mid-range and long-range battles. The Moxa and the Breach Shot, which are like basically the COG and the I think it's the COG and the Locust sniper, new snipers, or maybe they're just all COG based, all Locust. I feel that they're very balanced. The Breach Shot is more powerful than the Moxa, I believe, but the Moxa is a standard a standard weapon, so it does make sense that the power weapon or the weapon that's picked up is more powerful than the standard issued weapon. I really haven't used any of those weapons because I'm not really a sniper in this game. I'm more of your in-your-face player with the Gnasher. So I think Toonboy can give you more some more hindsight on that if you watch his gameplay and how those weapons, how they play in this game. Personally, I don't really see them being overpowered. If I get up close to a player wielding those weapons, I can easily dodge his shots and then, you know, kill him with the Gnasher. Next thing I want to talk about is the frags. I personally thought it was going to be ridiculous if the frags can stick someone if thrown, but they're not that big of a problem at all. It's actually kind of rewarding when you stick someone with a frag and just watch them blow up, or just hear what they got to say before they're going to blow up. It's like when they get hit by a torque ball. It's not really as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was going to just be spammed left to right, but also when the frags hit the ground and detonate next to you, their radius is a lot more confined and is a lot more tolerable, unlike the mini nukes that were in Gears of War 3. The thing is, if you're within that radius, though, you're going to die. So it's not like it's completely nerfed and it's just going to 4-point you. It's going to kill you if you're within the radius, but the radius is reduced in comparison to Gears of War 3. The stem grenade, which basically the medics have, is where you throw it and then you or any of your allies within the vicinity are going to be healed. Also, if any allies were down, they automatically get revived. Though that grenade is also very well balanced, and I would hope to really make it a lot more balanced if you're playing multiplayer or if you're playing freefall, for instance, right? And if someone chooses a stem grenade and they throw the stem grenade to heal themselves, keep in mind this is freefall. I would hope that maybe the enemies, if the enemies step into the stem grenade as well, they will also get healed. I mean, it's not that big of a deal if they don't get healed, but maybe to add some balance. I can agree if it was team-based like TDM or execution, that the stem grenade only affects your allies. Next grenade I want to talk about is the beacon grenade, which is available to the scout class, in which you throw this grenade, anyone within the vicinity, I think it's any enemies within the vicinity of the grenade, the radius, will be able to be seen through walls or cover, and it'll give the enemy team that can see you a heads up on where you're at and where your location is, and be able to plan a strategic element or strategy or push from there. I don't see the grenade being overpowered at all because it's like Gears of War. It's a shooting aid that I love because you can see your enemy, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to kill them. So being that they can see you, alright, they can know that you're going to come around the corner, but once you hit that corner, I mean, they could get a shot off first because they know you're coming around, but if you have the movement and the skill and the mindset, you're most likely going to be able to outplay that enemy, despite the fact that he even knew you were going to come around the corner, because this game is not based off of who sees who first or who shot who first, which is why I love this franchise. The next thing I want to talk about is the Booshka. Basically, it is a cog-based grenade launcher, which I think is supposed to compete with the boom shot. The boom shot is still more devastating in the sense that the splash damage and the radius of that explosion is just devastating, and it's a one-hit kill. While the Booshka is based off of bouncing a projectile. It's basically you gotta like use physics and a strategic element in the sense that you have to bounce a projectile in a certain way so that it lands at your specific target, and then it has like a little delay before it detonates, and then the explosion damage, I think it's about as powerful as the frag grenades in this game. I'm not sure, but what makes the Booshka so devastating is the amount of projectiles you can fire before you have to reload. The boom shot is one shot, reload, one shot, reload, one shot, reload. You're done with the weapon. The Booshka, I believe, has 4 rounds per 3 clips. I'm not entirely sure. So you can basically fire 4 rounds. I'm sure you can fire 4 rounds, and then you have to reload. So just add that up. Basically, if you can fire 4 rounds down into a specific area, if an enemy is camping, he's gonna die most likely. But the boom shot can do that, but that one projectile is still very powerful, and then you have 4 projectiles that you can shoot before you have to reload. But I don't really see the weapon being overpowered, even though a cog, the soldier precisely, can spawn with it. I don't really see it as being overpowered because the projectile doesn't explode instantaneously. And you can really see it, like you can see right here, this engineer is using it. It flies behind me. It's not like if that was a boom shot, I'd be dead right there in that scenario. But as you can see right here, the Gnasher's pellet spread does kind of get annoying if you're watching this gameplay right here, where it's pretty much extending, or it's pretty much going right past them. But like you see in that point blank, if they're really within that point blank and kissing the barrel of the Gnasher, they're going to die. So one shots are going to be kind of, how can I say it, less likely if they're not in point blank range. So yeah, the Gnasher did receive sort of a nerf, but like I said, it's not that big of a deal. And one thing I love about this demo so far is that since everything is sort of pretty much exceptionally balanced, the feeling of being able to move around and that sense of freedom in your mind has greatly increased. It's like in Gears of War 3, you really didn't move around the map so freely like you can in Judgment, because you were just afraid of someone camping around the corner with an overpowered grenade, such as the ink grenade, or just camping around with the rifles and the stopping power. But this game, everything is really balanced, so you just feel more free. And like they said, that the fast-paced element of this game, of this franchise basically, has been greatly improved, and I love what Epic has done with this. This game is a lot more fast-paced and a lot more in-your-face than the previous Gears of War, probably on par with Gears of War 1. And this game type, at first I really didn't think I was going to be interested at all, but I can see myself playing this game type on the full release and seeing the new maps, because it really does bring a new element to the franchise, especially the way the cog versus the locust should have been handled. Now I can see why they removed the locust in terms of the regular multiplayer, because it's just that the locust, they should really be able to showcase their true strength, and Overrun really does that with the the more bigger, heftier characters like the Mauler, the Corpser, and just having these new characters play in and having their characteristics, such as from what you can see from the campaign, being able to have humans versus humans on a multiplayer aspect. So basically, from playing the demo, my favorite classes on the Locust side is this guy right here, as you can see, the Mauler, the Ticker, and the Grenadier. So my strategy basically is, in the first round, is to just spam the Tickers and blow up as many fortifications as I possibly can. Once the fortifications are sort of destroyed and I have like a clear line of sight to the generator or the E-holes, what I do is I use a Grenadier, and that's when I start to try to flush out the foot soldiers, which is basically all of the cog, and just keep suppressive fire on that generator. And then when it gets to like the later rounds, when I actually have to attack the generator, that's when I pull out the Mauler and just completely just you're gonna break through any fortification 90% of the time, because this character has a shield, so he's gonna deflect the majority of uncommon enemy fire, as well as anything explosive based. And he's gonna really get in there and lay down a lot of damage onto the generator or the E-holes. Another good character is the Corpser, but what I don't like about the Corpser is that he really doesn't have any shield. So if someone sets up any turrets or just like focuses fire on you, you're gonna die relatively quickly, and it's the most expensive character to buy. But the good thing is that he can burrow underneath ground and go underneath the fortification and just rise up right on top of the E-hole, or right on top of the generator. Now on the COG side, my favorite character is the Engineer, pretty much because he can repair fortifications, as well as him having a Gnasher shotgun. That's my favorite weapon in the game. And my other favorite character is the Engineer, because he can not run out of ammo basically, and he has the Booshka. The Booshka is a very good weapon. If you have to just pretty much be strategic with it on a physical element, as well as it's just basically, how can I say, it's a very fun weapon to use. It's not as powerful as the boom shot, but I can see how in some ways it's better than the boom shot, primarily because of the amount of explosives that could be dumped down into a given area as opposed to the boom shot. If I could say a third favorite character for the COD, I would probably say it's the maybe the medic, because it's like there's nothing better than anyone who can pretty much keep the team alive and heal them. And just being able to throw a stun grenade at a downed ally, or just reviving them, is very crucial. As pretty much the same as like the Cantus for the COG. Just basically just having the Cantus in the back, just healing everyone while they're in the front trying to destroy the fortifications or fight. It's a very, very helpful thing. So basically, in conclusion, I love this game so far. The demo is epic, and if they can keep the same kind of vibe and flow for the multiplayer, I'm very, very happy on what Gears of War's franchise has pretty much turned into. It pretty much exceeded my expectations. I didn't really expect it to be as, as fluid and in your face. I thought it was going to be a lot more casualized and stuff, but really in this game, it's actually possibly the most skillful Gears of War to date. And some people might not agree with me, but it's just that, just think of it like this: the lag is gone from Gears of War 1. There's no hit detection issues. It pretty much has the same vibe of Gears of War 1. Everything aims towards the middle of the screen, just like Gears of War 1. There's no more stopping power. The Lancers and all of the other rifles take their place as medium to long range weapons, and some of close range weapons, of course, the retro and the classic hammer burst. And the grenades are not, like overpowered nukes. There's no grenades that slow down the gameplay. Well, the ink does slow down the gameplay in the sense that you can't really get past a certain area of the map if someone throws an ink, because it is an area of a denial weapon. But it's not like Gears of War 3 where your character is just stunned and helpless, just waiting for his death. That was just a major flaw in terms of the competitive aspect and balance of the game. So, like I said before, I personally feel that this game is going to be amazing, and I'm really happy on what happens to this franchise. So if you guys have any questions that I possibly did not answer in this commentary, feel free to post them below. Thanks for watching this gameplay, guys. Later.
Look at that!